Let me extend my welcome and appreciation for your presence in honoring our students tonight. My passion is investing. It always has been. I'm a professional investor, investing for myself and others. And I've been doing it for 36 years with 3 other firms before starting my own firm 15 years ago. I discovered my passion when I was just a kid, actually age 14. My father was in the business as a broker, and it got me interested in the field of investing. So at age 14, I began my occupation, if you will. But then for a brief period, in my early years here at Elizabethtown, I nearly lost it. Actually, what I nearly lost was the belief that I should be doing what I loved for a living. And thank goodness I found it again and got on the right track. That's the story I will share with you tonight, how I found, nearly lost, and then found my life's work, my passion. That's the lesson I want to share with the students here today, the importance of finding something you're good at and that you love to do, the thing that brings you pleasure, lights you up, ignites your curiosity, and replenishes your energy every day. Doing something you don't like, that's not the way to spend the rest of your life. So my lesson is, you must pursue your passion. But first, let me acknowledge what a privilege and pleasure it is to be here, and I'd like to extend a thank you to a number of folks. Sylvester, our department chair, for the invitation to speak to you tonight. The awardees being recognized this evening, the scholars. Our scholarship sponsors for their support of our students. The parents for taking the time out of their busy schedules to be with their children for this important event. And finally, and especially, the Elizabethtown faculty. I have special respect and esteem for them and the important role they can play in a young person's life. So tonight we're all here for the same reason, to celebrate the achievements of some very talented students. Now to those students I want to say a few words. I want to share some thoughts about the working world and the importance of pursuing a career that you love, doing something for which you feel real passion. I hope what I say will be useful to you and be remembered long after tonight's banquet. Now professionally, I was influenced by 2 key mentors. Each one had a profound effect on my life, on the choices I made, and the person I ultimately became. And a mentor is someone who takes the time to get to know you and who offers perspective and advice. A mentor can help you identify your passion, what it is you really love to do. My first mentor was my father, also a Jim Hoover. He was a product of the Depression when times were hard, and he never went to college. But he was an upstanding citizen, a wonderful parent, along with my mother. Professionally, as I noted, he was a stockbroker with a firm in Harrisburg. And he was the first person to explain to me what it was to invest in the market, to buy shares of stock issued by publicly traded companies. And he taught me my first lessons about investing and what it took to succeed in that world. I was just a kid, but I was interested in what he was doing. His enthusiasm had a profound effect on me. So when I was 14, I took a big step, and I made my first investment. No, not in the car. But at the time, I was in love with high-performance cars, the muscle cars of the late 60s and early 70s, like this Camaro Z28, and this Mustang Boss 302. Actually, a Mustang was my first car, not quite as strong as this one, but that was a pretty powerful car at that time. Or this Mustang Shelby with yours truly. This was at a car auction that I was at last year. A friend of mine took the photo. And all my friends were in love with these cars. And I knew that the best manual shifter was made by a company called Hurst, H-U-R-S-T, Hurst Performance. And I did some research, and I discovered it was a publicly traded company, and it was based in Pennsylvania. Seemed like a really smart bet. I thought that Hurst would perform well, so I bought some shares at age 14 with the earnings I had from my summer jobs and jobs after school. And it might have been a good investment, except for a few things I didn't take into consideration. The auto insurers began to see a rising volume of high-dollar claims coming from the teenagers driving these cars. And when the accident rate went up, the insurance premiums were increased to levels where as teenagers we could no longer afford to drive these cars. So sales of the muscle cars began to decline, So sales of her shifters began to decline, and unfortunately, so did the price of the stock. I sold the stock and I lost a little money after leaving a large unrealized gain, and the key word is unrealized, gain on the table. But I learned a big lesson, that context matters. That regardless of how well you think you know something, you can still be blindsided, as I was with the auto insurance issue. You really can't understand something well unless you understand its context. You can make assumptions that don't hold up well. And that was a valuable lesson I learned at an early age. Now we'll fast forward 5 years, and here I am, a sophomore at Elizabethtown College. The year is 1973, 40 years ago. And ever since Hearst's performance, I'd kind of backed away from the markets, and I pursued a different track. Because I was good at numbers and math, I became very good at accounting. In fact, I got all A's in accounting. So I figured that'd be my career. My plan was to get my accounting degree with the objective of becoming a CPA. It was a practical plan, made sense, do the thing that I was good at. The only problem was I really didn't like accounting. Enter my second mentor, Randy Trostel. Here he is, a young up-and-coming professor at Elizabethtown. It was my junior year, and I took some classes with Randy, most importantly the investments class, which he still teaches here today. He was an outstanding teacher. He was energetic, upbeat, detail-oriented, spoke fast on his feet, genuine enthusiasm for his subject, the ability to inspire his students to do their best work, but most importantly, he took a sincere interest in his students. He got to know me, and we talked about my career plans. He sat down and gave me some advice. He told me that I should pursue a career out of the thing I really loved, which was still investing. He told me to do so, I would need a graduate degree, an MBA, which I hadn't thought of, had no knowledge of graduate school. So he helped me formulate a plan. I changed my last year's course load, changed my major from accounting to finance, applied and entered Indiana University's MBA program, and I redirected my energies. And thanks to him, I changed career tracks. Here I am at a graduation dinner. I graduated in August of that particular year with the college president and another student. You can see the hairstyle is a little bit different. The attire is a bit different. But again, this was some time ago. Now, I knew I loved the investment world. I just needed someone outside myself to remind me of my passion for investing. And that literally changed my life. Professionally, I never looked back. I kept going forward, doing the thing I loved, and it's been a great career. As I like to say, I've been well compensated to pursue a hobby because I would invest if I wasn't paid to do so. So my advice to you is to seek out those mentors, people who take the time to get you what drives you, what inspires you, what motivates you. Plenty of people will get you or care. There are all kinds of people in the world. But when someone you respect does, when someone respects you and your talent and wants to help, understand that's very precious. Because of Randy, I pursued my passion, something I was good at, and found a rewarding, satisfying career. Now, Randy retired some years ago, but he still teaches that investment class here at the college, and I'm delighted that he's here with us tonight. And Randy, it's been a pleasure to maintain the relationship all these years. Now, having a mentor is invaluable. You may be lucky enough to have more than one, as I have over my career. But other relationships are also important in developing your career. You should recognize that success in life is never achieved in isolation. It's always partly due to the strength of the relationships that support you. Just as you look at long-term investments, you must invest in a network of relationships and sustain them. The relationships are based on giving and getting. It's a two-way street. You need to do favors for people, paying out all the time without expecting a return at that moment. That's how you build long-term relationships. And this is key to understanding them. If they're not getting stronger, they're getting weaker. In other words, if you're not making the ongoing investment to strengthen them, they're going to die in the vine. So maintain and sustain a broad network throughout your life. Here I am celebrating the sale of a private company that I was invested in, along with the other directors and the senior management team. It was a team effort that created the value for all of us as shareholders at that particular company. Point is, you can't be a lone ranger. If you think you're going to be successful as a lone ranger, you're unrealistic. It's people who control resources, opportunities, information. They open doors. They make crucial introductions. They understand the way things work and will explain them to you. So if you're looking for an opportunity, you're really looking for a person. You will need people to get where you want to go. And the people who surround you, they influence you. People you spend time with will shape your expectations, your standards, and your achievements. Here's what Reid Hoffman, the co-founder and chairman of LinkedIn, had to say on this. You must cultivate network intelligence so that you can tap into other people's brains. We measure ourselves, we set our goals, we fix our dreams according to the people around us. Just as we invest in the stock market for the long term, so we should be investing in our network, building relationships that will grow in value and pay off for years to come. Now, I've always surrounded myself with people who have high standards of achievement and who help inspire me every day. I still have a passion for investing. I've been running my own firm for the past 15 years. And I can tell you this, it has brought me financial security, yes. But more importantly, it's also brought me other rewards. Among them, the time and resources to pursue and nurture other passions. Now, I also have a passion and deep love and appreciation for my family, and I have a passion for Elizabethtown College. Now, here's a picture of the Student Center when I was a student. It's been 4 decades since I was here as a freshman. That building actually is roughly where we're standing right now, more or less. But my appreciation for the college has deepened over the years. The campus was beautiful then, it's even more beautiful today. Sometimes we go throughout our day not appreciating what's right in front of our eyes, but every time I come back, I see it fresh all over again. The campus is special. In the 1970s, Night Carry was brand new and home of the business department, and that's where I spent much of my time on campus when I was here. And I used to walk by Night Carry, Musser, Espenshade, read the names on the buildings. Now I can say those names mean more to me. I appreciate all the many people who have contributed to making this an outstanding institution. It's been my privilege to be among those who are guiding Elizabethtown forward. I joined the Board of Trustees in 1997 at the then invitation of the then recently appointed new president. And because of my background in investing, I was asked to join the investment committee of the board. And I had certain knowledge and expertise that could be useful and applied to the benefit of the college endowment, which I did. And I've been proud to combine my passions and put my knowledge, skills, and enthusiasm to investing to the benefit of the institution that I love. 6 years ago, I was honored to dedicate the new Center for Business. I'm proud of this building. I'm proud to have made an impact. But most of all, I'm grateful for the opportunity to give back to the institution that gave me so much. It's an honor to be continuing a great educational tradition. To our outstanding scholars, the reason we're together tonight is to celebrate your achievements. I'd like to congratulate each of you on your accomplishments. And I urge you to seek out the things that you love doing in life, your passion, and pursue the path that brings you joy. Thank you very much for the opportunity to address you tonight. And now on to the awards.